welcome back to another episode of RNB.
Hello, world.
I'm Robert.
Oh. I'm Brittany, guys. Hey, what's up?
How's your week?
It was really good. I went to my jammies with Kat and got fucking lit.
Well, while you were in Miami, I was at home struggling with a goddamn sinus infection.
Yeah, you sound nasally as fuck.
Yeah, so if it sounds like I shoved grapes in my nose, I didn't. I promise. I'm just getting over being sick.
That's alright. You know, I think our followers can understand.
Yeah, I mean, I still went out and got lit because, I mean, we're on break, or I'm about to be on a long break. We're on break right now, and I'm just like, I've been hanging out with friends and family, and I miss them. That's what I'm realizing is I miss them.
Yeah, my semester starts on Monday, and honestly, I'm dying. Like, so it's a week from today, actually, so, I mean, I'm cherishing every moment that I have for the next 7 days.
I feel you.
Magical dining also starts at my job, and that's going to suck too, so, you know, I'm just having it's going to be a really trying month.
When it rains, it pours.
Alright, well, welcome back, guys. We are on episode 11. Thank you so much for tuning into our last episode. Today for our Get to the Fucking Point.
Oh, yeah, by the way, this Get to the Point came from my friend Martin. We were talking about it at work, and he was like, hey, you should talk about this on your podcast. So here we are, talking about it on the podcast. So to get to the point, what we were talking about is the games that people play in relationships or like before relationships. So he is 31, 32, somewhere around that. And he was just talking about like because I know we already did an episode on dating. That's not what this is going to be about. But like when you're trying to get to know somebody and you're trying to get to the point where you are going to start dating, the games that happen before that.
Yeah, for sure. And then, obviously, there's games that people play within a relationship, too, that make a relationship, like, toxic, and then just create a lot of problems and stuff like that, you know? And, of course, it does tie into our Dating in 2019 episode. So, if you guys haven't heard that one, make sure to check it out. It'll make a lot of sense. But, yeah, let's get started.
Yeah, so, how do you feel about... I'm going to talk from a guy's perspective right now.
Yeah, for sure. I'll be from a girl's.
From my perspective, I don't like the whole, like... So you meet a girl, you guys like each other, or you think you like each other or whatever. You text her, and then, like, you guys text back for a little while, and then all of a sudden it's like you text her, and she waits, like, 2 weeks.
Oh.
And then it's like, oh... Do I text her again? Do I not text her?
Yeah, do you double text?
Yeah, and it's like that? It's like, oh, I thought that, like, we had something going. I thought that we might have liked each other, and she'll respond and, you know, pick up the conversation like nothing's ever happened, but you're like, oh, okay.
My friend actually was talking to me about that today. I posted on my story, like, what are some games that people play in relationships, and he commented on it, and he told me about this term that I'd never heard of. Hold on, sorry, I gotta scroll a little bit. It's called, like, mind gambling or something like that. Here we go. Head game gamble. Okay, so when you, like, head game gamble, you're wondering if someone is doing something on purpose. Like, is she not texting you back because she doesn't want to seem too interested? Or is she not texting you back because she, like, legitimately forgot? And so it's, like, this gamble that you're playing in your mind, like, what is it? What's going on? And it's when people aren't being honest about their feelings. Like, so, for example, if you text a girl and she doesn't text back for 2 weeks, like, she might have done that on purpose to make herself, like, not seem too available. And people do that all the time. And I know that, like, it doesn't have to be, like, 2 weeks or anything like that, but they'll be like, don't text back too quick because then you seem desperate. Like, damn, what if I just have my phone in my hand?
No, yeah, I definitely get that. And I don't like how nowadays it's been, like, cool to be, like, a dick.
Yes.
That's so shitty. That's so shitty because it's like, if you like somebody, you're not supposed to say that you like that person, but you're supposed to play these games, and you're supposed to try to, like, blow them off and stuff like that, and I don't get it. I really don't get the point of the whole entire thing that is the game, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
I just wish somebody was able to, like, explain to me what is it supposed to be, because if you like that person likes you, I feel like it's very simple.
Well, okay, so I feel like what it boils down to is that people are really unsure about what other people feel about them. Do you know what I mean? Like, with dating nowadays, like, no one's really honest about their feelings that they have for another person because people are afraid to look lame or to get hurt or anything like that, so people play hard to get. And, like, when both parties are playing hard to get, like, you're gonna get frustrated and that other person's gonna get frustrated, so it's like, I think people like they just don't want to get hurt. You know what I mean? And so I'm gonna act like a dick, and I'm gonna act like I don't care until I see that you care, and then we can like proceed. But that's not what you should be doing. But I'm just
No,
explaining.
I guess that makes sense. But I'm like, if you don't want to get hurt, it's shitty that the way you're trying to protect yourself is by hurting somebody else.
Yeah. And maybe that boils down to them getting hurt in previous relationships, you know? Like, I feel like when people have been in previous relationships to where they were the open one in the relationship and they were honest about their feelings and they acted upon those feelings and then that person took advantage of them, they go into their next relationship thinking like, okay, well, I can't be as open as I was before because I don't want to get taken advantage of. And you probably end up leaving that relationship feeling stupid that you even opened up to that person to like let them know, hey, I really like you, like I want to make this work, this is how I'm feeling about something, and then someone takes advantage of that or lies to you or isn't honest about their feelings. You know, like that's a shitty feeling because when you're being in a relationship and you're open, that's a very vulnerable place to be in. You know, you're telling about how you feel, you're opening yourself and your mind and your body to someone, and that's super vulnerable. So
Yeah, trust me, I don't like being fucking vulnerable, but I guess that the way I think of it is if you want to be in a relationship, you have to be open with that person.
yeah.
And I get that that's scary and that's hard, but at the same time, you have to have the time to like have that introspection and be like, am I ready for this? And if you're not, then sit down and do your own thing. Have your own personal growth before you evolve into somebody else, because once you do that, then you're causing damage to somebody who didn't do anything to you.
Exactly. And so like for definitely, I think everyone already knows this, but like you have to love yourself before you can love anyone else. And so yeah, sometimes when people are being insecure in a relationship, that comes from an insecurity within themselves as an individual. So you have to have that security within knowing that you are good enough, that you're pretty enough, you don't care what, they're gonna do to you. You're not gonna let that affect you later on. Do you know what I mean? You have to have that security within yourself, and only then can you try to share your life with someone else and like build on that. Because I think a lot of people go into relationships feeling like, as we said before, needing that person to complete them, and then feeling like, okay, I'm only whole when I'm with this person, and that's where you run into like the mind games that people start to play with themselves, because like if you're insecure within yourself and then you bring that insecurity into your relationship, I can see the situation happening to where it's like, okay, well, he didn't text me all day, like, is it because he's hanging out with another girl? He didn't text me back quick enough, like, does that mean he doesn't like me? It's like, that's probably not even what's going on, and you're just creating a situation in your mind.
Yeah, so what are some mind games that you feel like that guys play? Because I just said what I thought girls do.
Mm-hmm.
What do you feel like some of that guys do?
I feel like men are just afraid to commit, like, I think guys always want to have hoes. And I don't know if it's like within like male culture that it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, if you settle down or if you only are talking to one girl, then you must be a loser, like you can't pull chicks and stuff like that. So I feel like guys try to keep a lot of girls around and then they try to make it seem like they aren't. So they'll be with one girl and then they'll have their phone always face down. And they'll have, or like have it on like do not disturb or some shit like that, or the fucking privacy screen. I feel like only guys have privacy screens, and that shit just automatically to me is just like, okay, well, obviously you're a little sketch because I wasn't even trying to look at your phone, but you're making sure I cannot see what's on your phone. So I'm just like, what do you really have to hide? Like, you got pics of your butthole, you got pics of you like banging another guy, like, what's up?
Yeah, I don't know about that, but at the same time, I'm like, I'm very open when it comes down to shit like that, and I've been talking to girls, and girls don't like the fact that I'm like friends and like cool with pretty girls. So
and you have so many more girlfriends than guy friends, I feel like.
yeah, so then that becomes an issue also, because it's like, all right, well, are you and so actually just friends? And okay, if you guys are just friends, you still got this other one over here. Is she also just a friend? Like, who are all these pretty girls that you hang out with? And why are you just friends with them? So I'm like, you can be extremely open, and that also slaps you in the face. Like there is no. I really just don't care, because I'm like, you're gonna find out about this person anyway. If this is somebody that I'm close to, somebody that I hang out with, somebody who I knew before, this was a thing, you're going to find out about that person. So it's either you're going to have to be comfortable and cool with it, or you're not.
Or you can go. There's the door.
Yeah, like...
You're not going to cut out friends just because you got a girlfriend. Like, it's fucked up.
Yeah, that's stupid. And there's a lot of people who do that.
Yeah.
And if you are one of those people, you're stupid. Because if that person was there for you before you had a relationship or anything, and then you dump them, okay, you move on and you're happy in your relationship, all right, cool. What happens when, God forbid, that relationship isn't a thing anymore, and that person who was standing by you is now like, oh...
you looking real
You're looking real dumb.
And, like, most likely, like, that's gonna happen. Like, I'm not saying that, like, you're going to break up, but I mean, a lot of people do end up breaking up, and once you end up being that person who only hangs out with their spouse and distances themselves from all their friends, and then once you break up, you have no one there, and then you're crawling back, like, no one wants to be your friend after that.
Yeah, man. I'm like, what I've realized the last couple of weeks is that, like, you have, like, your family, like, the people who is, like, your blood or whatever, and then you have the family that you choose. And I've realized that, like, these people that are close to me, that are my friends, really are my family, because I'm like, I couldn't imagine my life without some of these people, which is insane, crazy.
Yeah, what's good, guys? No, I totally understand that, and I've had multiple conversations within that topic because, like, my family really is just me, my brother, and my sister. You know, like, we don't have a lot of people that are around us that care about us, and I would consider, like, you a more important person to me than my actual father. Do you know what I mean? And I hate when people use a term like, or like the phrase, blood is thicker than water. Like, okay, yes, but that does not obligate me towards a person. I do not have to go out on a limb for a person just because they're my family if they're not providing, like, security for me or providing happiness for me, you know? Like, just because someone is your blood doesn't mean that you have any obligation to them if they're shady people, you know? Like, your friends are your family. You get to choose those people. You didn't get to choose your dad or your mom or your sister or your brother, you know? It's all about positive energy and whoever's bringing, like, happiness to your life.
Yeah, so that's why I use the word friend so, like, sparingly, because I feel like people just toss that word out so much, and I'm like, that's somebody that you chose to be in your life. They're not taking up a spot because they have to be there. You chose for them to be there. So you need to make sure that those people you are cherishing, because those people don't have to be there for you. So
exactly, and that's way more significant for a person to choose to be in your life, completely choose to be in your life, and not have it be because you're related or you have, like, you know, any marriage or anything.
Or like you're having sex with them or whatever. You know,
exactly.
like they're there just because they want to be there. So if you have somebody coming in who you are just in relationships with or whatever, and they tell you that you can't be cool with that person, that's an issue to me. But I mean,
that's a red flag. I feel like at that point you definitely need to drop that person, because that is the beginning of a toxic relationship, and you do not want that. You know, like, the issue with relationships these days is that obviously there's not, like, an open line of communication, and there's just a lot of insecurity, and I think that it's been brought about because of the availability with, like, Instagram and stuff like that. You know, like, there's all of these sexualized images online, and it's so readily available for you to just slide in someone's DMs to learn about them. Do you know what I mean? And even deeper than that, there's, like, Tinder and Bumble and stuff like that your boyfriend or girlfriend can download, and they can have an entire bio on someone with the click of a button. Do you know what I mean? You can know their age, their gender, like, how old, oh, sorry, I already said that, how old they are, like, where they're from, their occupation, all this stuff, and, like, people become insecure when stuff like that is available, because it's like, when you have, it's like you're living in a world of options, you know? And people sometimes, I think, maybe question why you choose me when there's, like, all of these other people, you know?
Yeah, no, I totally get that. Another game that I feel like gets played with me a lot is just it can be very hard sometimes to to know if somebody is genuinely into you, or are they genuinely into the attention that you give them.
Oh yeah, you've had a lot of those situations.
Yeah, so because I'm somebody who, once I'm in it, I'm, like, in it. So therefore I am showing you attention. I am asking, you know, good morning, good night, all that bullshit. And I think that a lot of girls like that just because nobody's given that to them before. But at the same time, they might not like me, you know? But then instead of just being, like, you know, being able to separate that, because I'm doing something for them that makes them feel good, they rather keep going.
Yeah.
And at that point, I feel like you're being selfish, because you're wasting my time.
No.
Don't waste my time.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's such a hard thing to get around, man. I don't know. I feel like this is why you should really just not keep your guard up, but just be mindful of the people that you choose to be around, and date, and don't jump into anything too quickly, you know. Like, we have all the time in the world, especially when it comes to dating. There's no, like, age limit on, like, when you can stop dating or anything like that, or when you should be married by. So if I'm going to talk to someone, I'm probably going to talk to them for a while and really, like, dig into who they are and try to see them from all aspects. Because, like, you can, you know, have a few conversations with someone and gain feelings for them and stuff, but you don't really know who they are until you can see them within certain situations. You know, it's like when someone gets emotional and is pushed to the limit, that's when you see who they really are and their true colors come out. So, you know, like, if a crazy situation were to happen and, like, you needed them to be there for you, that's a very telling situation of their character, you know? Because people can say whatever they want, and they can paint a picture if they want to, you know, but it's when action comes into play that you can really see who they are, and that's only going to happen over time. You know, you're not going to have, like, a million life-changing events happen within the span of 2 weeks. You know, you can, but probably not. So I'm like, don't rush into anything, because people are going to play games with you, and you're the only person who can protect yourself and your sanity. And at the end of the day, that is the most important thing on the planet, is your sanity and your happiness, and do not let these niggas fuck with you.
So I guess right now we're coming from the point of, like, both of us don't like games, but there's also those people that do. So I guess what do we, because, like, you know how, like, certain people are like, oh, it's the chase, it's the fun, it's the drama of it, it's the action of it. And I feel like just because we don't like it doesn't mean that, like, you know, everybody else isn't going to like it.
Yeah, I think that even if people don't really acknowledge that they're playing games and that they kind of like games, it is obvious. You know how there's a saying, like, nice guys finish last?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's a thing for a reason. I don't know if it's, like, some type of, like, innate animalistic thing within us, but people don't like when things are too easy. You know, people like a chase, and that is why people won't text each other back immediately, because they don't want to be like, okay, well, you already have me, then you won't want me anymore. You know, there's a thrill of the chase, and that's a part of, I guess, talking to anyone, really, unless you guys are really looking for the exact same thing and you have an amazing connection and you're immediately dating.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I get where you're coming from with that, but I've just never been that one, because I'm like, the drama of, like, this, oh, does she like me? Does she like me now? Blah, 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 blah. That's fine or whatever, but then I've had people, like, try to involve other people. Like, everybody has different styles of dating when they're dating, and I'm very, like, if I'm like, oh, I'm into you, then most of the time I'm just into you. I'm not like somebody who could be into multiple people.
Right,
but I feel like there's a lot of people who can do that.
Yeah.
People say that that's what dating is for. When you're dating, you're supposed to be talking to multiple people, but I'm like, it's just very hard for me to, first of all, it's hard to me catch feelings, period. So for me to have feelings in general, but for me to, you know, catch feelings for multiple people, that's out of the question for me. It's it's not something that I'm like, I don't think I'm emotionally capable of doing.
Yeah, no, and I'm 100% the exact same way. Every time I've ever been talking to anyone, it's only been that person. You know? Well, I mean, there was one time, but it was just, like, for fun. Well, yeah. No, I am the same way. It's really hard for me to like a person, so if I like you, that's a big deal, and I'm not going to put that energy into someone else. And then I'm like, I just feel, I think it's like a loyalty thing for me. Of course, I'm not obligated to that person yet, but I do feel that loyalty within me, that if I do like you, I'm only gonna, like, be hanging out with you, having sex with you, talking to you. Do you know what I mean? Like, not that it's wrong for anyone else to do that, but I also am just not emotionally capable of that. And I would like for my partner to be the same way, because I don't want, even though we're just talking or whatever, I don't want to, like, be thinking about, okay, well, maybe he isn't on a date. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so he doesn't text me back all day. I mean, chances are he's with a girl, because why would you not text me back then, right? Or you don't like me.
Yeah, but
if
then
you're talking to other people.
It's like weird, because it's like, this is the shitty part, is that we have all these songs that are like, we're not together, but you make it feel like we're together. Like, you know, the Drake song, and then Ariana Grande just came out with that Boyfriend song. All those songs are talking about the same thing. Yeah. It's about, you know, you're dating somebody, you like that person, but for some reason you guys are able to be together, you guys are able to commit to each other, but instead of like, just allowing you guys to just do your own thing, you guys are still making it feel like you're in a relationship when you're not.
Yeah, like giving people restrictions on like what they can and can't do. Yeah.
And that's a very like common thing. And it's so weird because it's like you want the shit that comes with a relationship. You want the loyalty. You want the you're only talking to me. You want the you're mine. But at the same time, you don't want the relationship.
Yeah.
So it's like that to me that's mind boggling because if you want all the characteristics of something like like if you want a dog. And you want the fluffy dog, you want the companionship, you want the loyalty, you want that dog to be there, you want that connection, but at the same time, you don't want the dog to piss the shit on your carpet. So you don't get the dog, but you really, 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 really want it,
Yeah.
So it's trying to take the best things from something that without actually like committing to it.
Exactly. You want to have your cake and eat it too, which I mean, of course, we can all understand, but that's just selfish. Like the whole point of being in a relationship is to share your life with someone, and is your life positive and rainbows and sunshine every single day? No, it's not. So you can't expect a relationship to be that way either, like you're going to have ups, you're going to have downs. And what's that cheesy ass quote where it's like, oh, you can't see like the good times if there's no bad times and shit like that, but it's true. And so it's like you're going to have to work on a relationship, and you're going to have trying times in your relationship because that's just life. And you can't shy away from that. So if you're not ready to deal with that, like your life and someone else's life, then don't get into a relationship. And with like in regard to talking to someone, I don't think that you need to be either all in or like able to talk to other people. I think every situation's unique, and if you guys decide to have boundaries within that, then that's fine too, Like there's been tons of times where I'm like talking to someone and we're not like officially dating, but we are like sexually exclusive. Do you know what I mean? And I feel like that's fine too, because I mean, I'm not trying to get any STDs.
The main issue with like this whole entire thing, and I think with the games and all of it, all of it comes down to the word communication. I feel like just to communicate with the person that you're with is not necessarily sexy. So to be like, oh, hey, I want this to be like exclusive, or I want, just for us to be together. I want us just to be sleeping together. That's not sexy. That's not something that's like, ooh, yeah, like I'm happy that you said, like,
It's a commitment.
Well, it's not just that. It's just that I don't think people like to do it because you're saying what you want, and you're putting your feelings out there. So, well, number one, you're being extremely vulnerable and extremely honest. But like I said, at the same time, it's more sexy to be like mysterious, like ooh, maybe maybe he is into me, maybe it's like it's more
exciting,
appealing.
I think it's more exciting.
Exactly.
Yeah, and also with that, I think that people are just afraid of the rejection side of it, because obviously, if you're gonna have a conversation like that, bringing up exclusivity in any sense, there's a possibility that you're going to be rejected, and I mean, no one likes to be rejected, and that's not a good feeling. So, of course, if you like someone and you want to ask them to be your boyfriend, girlfriend, or exclusive, you're afraid of that rejection, So maybe that's also why people play games instead, Like, I think it's also like trying to trick someone into being a certain way or feeling a certain way, because I feel like if, let's say, two people are talking and one person likes the other person more than the other, they may try to back off to make that person think that they don't like them, to have them in turn like them. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get it. And that's like
it's a trick.
That's the shitty part with like dating in general that I'm realizing, is that whenever you decide that you want to like talk to somebody, there's always going to be one party that likes the person more than the other.
I know.
And that's always like crappy, just because I've had it be where it's like me and I like the girl more than she likes me, and then like I in return or don't get the attention or whatever that I need for this to be like a thing. So then I back off, and then she's like, oh shit, he's backing off. So then she likes me more than and that flip flop happens all the time. And I think that itself is a game. So my only advice is that I try to go into something as honest as possible and as open as possible, just because at that point we both know what we're getting ourselves into, and we both have like agreed about the terms of what we got going on. And if it works, it works. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. But if you are playing those games, then you're at risk of losing something that's important to you, or maybe it's not important to you, and that's why you're playing the games. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, a relationship is a partnership. You know? It's a partnership, to people making a commitment to each other to be life partners or partners for however long. And I think people lose sight of that it is a partnership. So both parties have like equal right in everything and equal say in everything and equal importance, and respect is necessary. A lot of relationships turn into possession a lot of the times, and I think that's when things get weird. It's because like when you're possessing someone, you're not allowing them to be themselves, an individual outside of the relationship. And so, you know, it's almost like putting someone into a little box and then expecting them to be happy. You know, like a relationship's a partnership, and you gotta let that person breathe. You gotta let that person have time, have their own life, have their own friends. Like, you don't need to tag along to everything and like just think that everything means something, because not everything means something. You know, like if he doesn't text you back for a day, he might have forgotten. Or he could be sleeping with someone.
Or he could be
at
nursing school.
It could be it could be a lot of things. But that's, if you start questioning it and you start getting like unhealthy ideas about it, then just talk about it and ask him like, so what were you doing all day? Like, it's not a big deal to just ask someone a question, and then based on their reaction or based on their answer, then you can like take the necessary steps, you know, if there are any. But as I said earlier, I posted this on my Instagram as a little question. Just saying like, what are some games that people play in relationships? And my friend Mikey, we're trying to get him on the show, by the way. He commented and he said that like the little box that I left was not enough space because he had shit to say. So he said gaslighting was me, and it's them holding to their fake story and lies so much that they hope your memory of the situation will change and you'll forget about it or feel bad enough to apologize to them and feel like the victim. And so that was a game that he had in 2 of his relationships. So his partner would tell lies, and they would change the narrative, and they would say it over and over again, hoping that like Mikey would like forget what actually happened and just end up believing them, and they wouldn't let go of the lies even when he knew the truth and he was confronting them about it. They held on to it. That shit would piss me the fuck off. I had a situation recently to where I told someone a situation and they went and told another person, and then that person told me about it. And I obviously already knew the truth, you know, so I went to go confront the girl about it. I'm like, hey, like, why did you tell her that? Why did you have that conversation with her? And she's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, oh, fuck no. Please do not play dumb with me right now. Like, because if I'm confronting you about something, I already know the truth. And so for you to try to continue the lie and act like you don't know what I'm talking about when the girl already told me and I know she's telling the truth, you look like a fucking idiot, and it pisses me off because I'm like, how dumb do you think I am? You think that you can continue this lie and then all of a sudden I'm just going to one day believe that, oh, maybe she's telling the truth. No, bitch, I already know.
Yeah. I don't know. I've personally never had that happen to me, but I mean, I can understand how that's extremely frustrating for somebody to not only disrespect your goddamn intelligence, but to like think that you're stupid enough to the point where you're just gonna forget what actually happened.
Yeah, fuck that shit.
Dumb.
So, I dated this guy, and he cheated on me. And one of the girls that he cheated with, her boyfriend like told me the truth, because obviously like they were both cheating, and so he was pissed, so he came to me to tell me about it. And I already knew most of the details about it, so I confronted him about it, and immediately he denied it. And I'm like, hey, I already know the truth, so and so wrote me. And he's just like, and I'm just like, okay. And then so I knew more of the story, but I didn't let him know that I knew, so we just started to talk about it, and he tried to lie about other parts of the story to make it less bad. And I'm like, are you fucking joking? Like, if I already know the truth, just come clean. Because like, of course he thought that I just knew as much as I was telling him, but I'm like, no, you don't know what I know. And if I'm having a conversation with you and I'm talking to her boyfriend about it, obviously like I can find out a lot more. So don't dig yourself into a deeper fucking hole lying about it, piece of shit. Goddamn. Why do people do stuff like that? I'm like, if someone catches you in a lie, just tell the truth, because you look so fucking stupid. You look so fucking stupid when I'm confronting you, already knowing the goddamn truth, and you're continuing to lie. I'm just like, okay, well, you're obviously just a fucking shitty ass person. Your character fucking sucks. First of all, why are you talking about my business? Second of all, why the fuck can't you admit that you're lying? Whew. I digress.
I think that some people like use like maybe the girl who you told the story, blah blah blah. I think that she probably used that information to try to like be cool with whoever she was trying to talk to and be like, oh, like, you know.
Let me give you the inside scoop.
Yeah, exactly. So she was just, I don't think, well, no. She wasn't using it in a malicious way. She was using it to her benefit, which is still
malicious.
In a malicious way. Because, but
it's indirect maliciousness?
Yeah. Because at the end of the, I can't talk. At the end of the day, people only do things to benefit themselves. So she was doing it to benefit herself. She was just using your information as a way to do it.
And I already knew she had like a selfish personality, but this just solidified it in my mind that like, okay, you're a selfish person because there's no reason why you needed to tell her that. And yeah, I know that a lot of people do that to get close to people. It's like, okay, well, I'm going to tell you something because we're close and I'm going to be inside scoop and shit. Well, guess what, bitch? You're never finding anything out again. Fuck out of here. Fuck out of here.
Yeah, having the podcast has been like crazy. One of the recent episodes, we did the unlock your phone, and I used one of my friend's stories, and she was salty, y'all. She was real salty. So I've been trying to like be a lot more careful on like how I approach things because I think that we just think of it as like, oh, well, maybe we're just telling a story, but at the same time, you told that girl a story. I mean, the girl didn't tell me like, don't tell anybody or whatever, and of course, I didn't use anything to like directly, you know, identify her. Yeah. But at the same time, like I have to sit back and think like, oh, this like we put her whole entire situation and we like talked about it.
Well, here's the thing though, like that situation you were involved in, this situation I'm directly involved in, and if she watches this, I'm A-okay with it. Coming at ya, you heard it. Like it's my situation, and I don't give a fuck. Like if you heard about it, then yeah, I know who you are. Sorry, bitch.
So in general, like if we ever like use your story or whatever like that, not 9 times out of 10, 10 times out of 10, we're not saying your name directly.
No,
unless you're one of our friends and it's a fucking story that we, you know, all had together or whatever. Yeah. But I mean, our intention never is to blast people. Even though she's upset, she didn't say, you know, Samantha, Suzanne, you know, this is to you. She's still saying, you know, whoever, like, you know. So I'm like, you know, shit happens.
Woo! Yeah, no, and I mean, I'm still her friend and stuff like that, but also, like, people show their true colors, and just like I said earlier, it takes time for people to show their true colors, you know what I mean? And so I've been friends with this girl for like a year now, and I finally am just getting more and more like reasons to think that she is that way. Do you know what I mean? And so yeah, now I know who she really is, and we can move on with our lives.
So this shit just went full circle to a big thing. I think we've already talked about like the whole games and all that stuff. But what else should we go to? So the moral of the story today is don't play games with people. Be honest. Yeah, communicate. Be open. Just everybody wants the respect of knowing what they're getting into.
Exactly, and if you feel like the person that you're talking to or the person that you're in a relationship with is playing games, drop them! There's no fucking reason.
Like somebody who you're going to be like sexually active with. If people, even your friends, if your friends are playing games and they're like...
Drop them.
Drop them.
There's no fucking reason. Yeah. Like, why... there's so much stuff going on in life between work and school and like friendships and family and stuff like that. You do not have the time and energy to deal with games. None of us do. You're gonna waste your time. You're not gonna be as productive because you're playing games with these people. There's no reason. Keep positive people in your life. Get that negative shit out of here. Get those games out of here. You know, fucking...
As always, drink water, mind your business.
Yeah, can you just like stay hydrated? Please stay hydrated. Drink water, stay hydrated, stay the fuck out of people's business and communicate with your partner, please.
Make sure that like all your friends who are like, you know, there for you and like real and like care for you and they are your family, tell them that you care about them, tell them that you love them. You know, who knows what the fuck can happen.
Exactly. Oh, we're not getting into that conversation. I feel like that was just like the start. I'm like, you don't know what's gonna happen. You know, we only have 5 minutes left on this earth. No, I'm sorry, I'm being an asshole.
Yeah, for sure.
But anyways, guys.
I'm hungry.
I'm so hungry.
I'm hungry.
We're so hungry. We gotta go. Thank you so much for tuning in to episode 11 of RNB. Tell your friends, tell your family about us.
Spread the word. Spread the word.
Spread the word. You guys can find us on Instagram and Twitter at @theofficial_RNB. You can find us, you can find me at BRVTT on Instagram.
And my Instagram is Rob Bates, ROBBATESS.
And our email address is it's officialrnbpodcast@gmail.com. Hit us up, guys.
Adios.
We'll see you next week. Bye.